All right. So as the thin light of morning penetrates the curtains and slowly starts to lighten the disaster of the sitting room, as you awake, aware of the dream that you have just shared and what it suggests to you about the book, about Gavigan, and about your situation. The silence goads you into action.
All right, Smalls, let's go to this house of yours.
Very good. Let me put on my outerwear. Shall we take the book with us?
Yeah. I think, yeah, I think we've got the wrong book anyway. Yeah. Why not? Maybe you can burn it there.
I wouldn't recommend burning it. Look at my thumb. The blistered thumb. Do you have a car, Mr. McSweeney?
Oh, a car?
Well,
what do you think I make? You don't have one?
No, I don't. We'll have to hire a car, take us out to the old Scott farm.
All right. Whoever thinks best.
Well, otherwise it's going to be a long walk out there.
Oh well, yeah, it's a little too cold to walk. So yeah, let's get some kind of transportation. We got to be able to take a bus or taxi or something down that way.
Yes, I think maybe we can hail a cab, take a hired car out to the Scott farm.
All right, well, let's do that. Let's do that.
All right. Well, the morning street outside Smalls' shop is the same as any other morning. Still no mention of anything unusual in the newspaper, any of your horrific experiences, no manhunt for Mickey the Fist, no report of missing socialite or goings on down at the docks. Nothing. It's just another normal day, except that across the street, the bakery is closed for business.
That's the most terrible thing of all.
Reaching a taxi stand is a small effort, a small walk. And negotiating with the driver about where you want to go entails some extra fees. Because, of course, he'll have to wait for you.
I have bargain as one of my skills, so I don't know if this would be a moment to try to. I'm wise to the ways of these wily cab drivers and how they'll try to upsell you on every little thing. So Alfred is going to try to hold his own in these negotiations with the.
Okay. What is the underpinning of logic? What is the underpinning of logic in why he should not overcharge on this cold, wintry day in November?
That's right. But these days, not too many people can afford cab fare, so he's lucky to get any fares that he could get.
Okay.
So
Let the dice decide.
yes. So let's see here. I got an 11 off of 60. So I'm standing there gesticulating, and puffing and puffing about why he's charging us over much. And I know the game and blah, blah, blah.
I understand that you think I might have difficulty making money, but I run a clean cab. I'm very reliable, and I don't think you'll find many cabbies willing to go all the way out to the sky. You know what happened back there in 24, don't you? I'm willing to take you there. I'm willing to wait there, even though I'm putting my very life and soul at risk.
By
I don't
driving
think
out
you'll
to,
find any of these other guys are going to go there.
I'm sure in the entire city of Boston, I'm sure we can find at least one other cabbie willing to drive out to Newton. And
I don't disagree with you, sir. I certainly wouldn't call you a liar. What I'm saying is they'll take you out there, and then when it starts getting really creepy, they'll leave, and you're going to have to walk home. And no offense, but I'm not sure that your manly physique is prepared for such a walk. There's a lot of hills.
so you're telling me that you're scared by a few oak trees and some barn owls out at the farm? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
it's kidnappers, sadists, Satanists, and being burned alive. Not to mention the ghosts. Those are the things that I'm worried about. Maybe I'm not made as stern a stuff as you, but I need some encouragement to survive such a terrifying place.
November 1931 is kind to few, least of all the little guys caught between the cold shoreline, the crummy breadline, and the frontline violence of mobsters and G-men. Every day, the news is so bad that people don't even want to line their clothes or shoes with the papers that report it. But the chill talks them into it. Maybe, if they live one more day, it might be work. Although the suffering and the violence are getting worse every day, the papers take any opportunity to write about something else. Scandals, gangsters, socialists and socialites. Hundreds of small fry jump or get jumped every night. But if one rich guy stumbles,
Well, at this point, I'm just going to get in the cab and motion for Terrence to get in.
And he doesn't complain. He,
on the way, shall we?
He pulls out into traffic, between a horse cart and a Model T, and you slowly make your way out of Boston into pretty idyllic circumstances, and everything is pretty beautiful, very, in the Boston environs of the city. And as you're making your way out of the city limits, there's no snow and it's significantly warmer.
This seems very pleasant.
And it's not too long as these things go before you arrive in the area, and he begins navigating some of these back roads and side streets, not side streets, but country lanes, in order to find the exact one he's looking for that will take you to the Scott farm. Says, "Oh, it's been a long time since I've been out here. Some of these well-heeled customers in their tuxedos, and never had any idea that they were kidnapping folks and sacrificing them to..." And then he shuts up mid-sentence. A little bit of white knuckle on the wheel.
So you mean to tell you used to take all the socialites up here? Back
Well, not all of them. Most of them had their own cars, but often I'd get called out here because, someone was too in their cups to drive back or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I'm putting together a story about this, so maybe I might end up interviewing you.
A story? You a writer?
Yeah, work for the paper, for the Post.
Oh, you're a reporter. The Post, huh?
Yeah, the Post.
So what's in it for me if you...
Notoriety.
Notoriety.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good. Come on, Cabby the Stars, all that stuff. Guys, seen all this stuff? Of course it's good.
All right, well, we're going to be able to see it as we come around the bend here, and there was a pretty big fire. It spread to the old barn, which had been converted to a garage, and part of the main house burned, and so we'll see what nature's done to the place. I know there's no one who's heard of it that would ever buy the place.
I'll tell you what, Smalls, this is good. I thought for a second this guy was yellow, but it turns out this guy knows his way around here. You picked the right cabbie. I'm impressed.
That's right. The only thing yellow around here is the color of this cab. And I'll give the man a sort of a hearty thump on the shoulder, like, good man, good man.
As long as your money's green, sir. So as you pull around the corner, and a now wild but probably once very well cared for screening wall of trees and hedges. As you come around the corner, you see the bones of what once had been a very large and rambling, farmhouse that had then been uplifted, upgraded, renovated into the appearance of a manor house. And this is easily recognized from the photographs in the newspapers that you had both examined at the library and at the newspaper office as being, that he's brought you to the right place. And the gardens and the grounds are all overgrown. It's not been tended at all. The delightful creeping vines up the front of the building have kind of taken over. The roof has collapsed in a section. Moss is growing in various places, in the shingles and under the eaves, and one of the rain gutters has collapsed, and some of the windows are broken. Nothing's been boarded up or prepared for a period of emptiness. It's just been left. But the place did not burn to the ground, and from the outside, it's not clear how significant the fire may have been.
Look at this. The pictures didn't do it justice. I wish McGinnis was here, man. These are some great shots. This place is creepy. kids kept saying farm. I tell you, opulent.
The newspapers were fairly circumspect in their reporting what happened here. There's an extra fare in it for you. If you can tell us what you've heard and seen, my good friend.
Really? Well, you're all right. I can tell you that I mentioned the kidnapping already and the murders. So I heard that there's that they did that underground, like not in the basement, right, but underground. I heard there's tunnels and that sort of stuff, and I heard a lot of rumors about who they were kidnapping and and what kind of weird stuff they were doing, but I don't know. But at the end, there was an anonymous tip. There was a tip off, right, that there was bad stuff going on out here. But by the time the authorities arrived, the place is on fire, and one of the people that they had kidnapped was still alive, but he wasn't in any condition to talk about what he'd been through, and the leaders, they caught one who he claimed he was innocent, famous doctor guy, funny name, Call, like doctors are on call, Dr. Call. They always made me laugh, but they nabbed him, and I don't know if he got any jail time or not, but that was in the papers. You should know if you're a reporter. That was in the papers a lot back then, and one of them supposedly died in the fire, and one seems to have disappeared. What was his name? It was like Stanford. They were looking for a guy named Stanford. He was like really junior to the rest, Call and Edward Gavigan. He was pretty high up. It was like the Masons, like there was all these different ranks. So yeah, and then of course there's all the people who are saying, "Oh, I'm not really a member. I just come out here for the parties or for donations or for charitable stuff," and it was really confused. And you know how, no offense, sir, you know how rich people get away with anything they want.
I was just looking at Smalls at that point. He called you rich, Smalls. No, richer than me, anyhow. But yes, no, that makes sense. That's some good information. What did you say your name was?
You really gonna put my name in the paper?
Well, if it's good, yeah.
Well, my name is James White, but nobody knows me by James.
What do they call you?
Well, they call me Jimmy, but my wife gets angry when people call me Jimmy because I'm too old to be a Jimmy. I'm supposed to be a James.
I gotcha. All right, James. Yeah.
Now he's talking a good game, but he's still holding onto the wheel, and he's still kind of white knuckling. He literally does not want to be out here.
Listen, you hang out. We'll be back.
I hope so.
Yeah, oh yeah. I hope so too.
Hey, once the sun starts to set, I'm out of here. And if you're looking for rescue, it won't be me. And he knocks on his leg, his lower leg, which gives a wooden sound.
Well, do me a favor, hit the horn or something, would you?
No one will hear me honk.
I might.
Oh, that I'm leaving? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's all. Which foot is it?
His left foot. The clutch.
All righty. Come on, Smalls.
Right. So, where do you think we should? He mentioned something about stories about the basement or the tunnels or something. Should we?
Look around for underground tunnels? Well, how about we just take a scout at the house first before we like decide to start digging ourselves into the ground? How about that? You know, it's going to be something we can see up here first.
Well, that's true, but if this structure has been badly burned, we should watch out for the soundness of the structure. We might be safer off going down.
I'll walk in front. How about that?
Oh, that's a marvelous idea.
Okay. So, heading out to the house at a good clip, making sure that Smalls can actually follow me.
Right.
Stepping over all the brush and everything that's grown up.
Right. The circular drive, right? The ruts have grown deeper and the grass has grown taller, and the stairs, vines and other plants have forced their way up between the runners.
That's a good one. Like 5 years, something like that, since it's been abandoned. 7 years, somewhere on there.
According to the caveat, it was 24. Your
20.
notes are confused on this point.
Right, okay. 24. So it's okay, but probably 7 years, something like that, yeah.
The front door, was probably once quite beautiful. Right? It's been left open and stained by the elements. There's signs of animal tracks and whatnot. The fine carpet that you can see stretching into the darkness has clearly been ruined by what it's been exposed to.
This place must have been something.
Indeed.
Must have been something. And just looking around everything, just looking at like any kind of furniture, objects, sort of touching things as I'm going.
Right. Now, the furniture has all been removed. Even the staircase, the wooden balustrade, right, has been removed. Some of the supports, the struts for it remain, but it had a curving shape according to the path the stairs take up to the second floor. That wood has been removed. The posts at the end have been removed, and there's marks on the walls where various pictures were hung. Right, you can see the outline on the ruined wallpaper, and off to the left is what would have been the salon or whatever, the family room when in the house's original format that had been converted into some kind of drawing room or salon or whatnot for these people to have meetings or meet guests or host parties. It's completely empty, but that section is where the roof collapsed, and the far wall with its fireplace has all been marked by fire. There are some ruined bookcases and other destroyed furniture around, including a devastated grand piano. But other than that, the rooms have been stripped clean of anything that could be sold.
Right.
So this ground floor has this salon area to the right. It has a more formal office looking area. Off to the left, off to the right. And the kitchens are back here. And that's it for the ground floor.
I suppose it's worth a look upstairs. Hey, Smalls. I'll
Uh,
go.
just well, you think the second floor is stable?
I don't know. I'm gonna take a quick look. I'm not gonna stay down here.
Yeah, why don't I stay here? Keep an eye on things.
I'm just gonna take a quick look. I carefully, but gingerly, kind of make my way up the stairs. I'm not. I don't want to spend a lot of time looking around because I barely know what we're here looking for, except something that might make some kind of sense. So I'm looking for anything that sticks out to me.
Sure. Going up the stairs, there is a lot of noise and some uncomfortable movement.
Yeah.
But step by careful step, you get closer and closer to the top.
Okay. So I'm really kind of starting to do that little shuffle slide sort of thing, testing the weight of the floorboards as I'm moving around rather than just
Just before you get to the top, you have a moment of double vision.
and hold on to one of the supports that remains, not the actual banister, one of the wooden supports for a second. Oh, that's weird. I'm trying to clear my head and keep going.
Up here, all the doors to all the rooms that all just they look like bedrooms.
Right.
There's one large room that has been converted into a water closet.
Right.
And its fixtures have also been removed, but the pipes remain.
So far, the place looks pretty gutted there, Smalls. I'm just taking a quick look up here.
Excellent.
You find your way to get downstairs?
No, I've been listening to your ascent. If you'd like,
Oh, yeah.
I can
Well,
search around for a way down.
yeah, maybe for a second, maybe you're on the right track. Maybe there is something underneath there that we, might see something or make this make some kind of sense. I think people have been pretty much through here and looted the whole place as best they could. So let me just take another quick look up here, and then we'll come down.
Yeah, according to Mr. White, our intrepid driver, there was tales of subterranean chambers.
I know. I wrote it down in my notebook. I was there. Come on, Smalls.
But now you're up there.
I know. I'll be right back down.
Now, Smalls, from your position by the stairs, Terrence's voice, was of course coming from directly in front of you. And as he moves around, suddenly you can start hearing it from two places, right? Echoing down the stairwell, but also coming down through the ceiling where the place has been destroyed by fire. And several of the bedrooms, or whatever they were, so they have no floors. They have only partial walls remaining. You can see up into the attic and then out into the sky beyond. A beautiful, serene November, high and lofty sky, untroubled by the sins of man.
If I can't see anything else up here, I'm going to carefully make my way back down. Maybe assist Mr. Smalls in discovering the way to the basement or lower floors, whatever they might be.
As you move around, underneath the stairs is, of course, tiny closet space and that sort of thing. But in the back of the burned salon, there is a brass plate, which is now green with lack of care, which has the same sigil as the ring that you had found
Got a load of
from
that.
Dr. Call.
Surprised nobody took this. How big is it? I mean, is this something that looks like I can move, or
It's like a name plate. It's affixed directly to the wall. It's got.
I try. Could try to pry it off with something. Is there anything in here I can kind of look like it would move off? Yeah. I don't think I brought a screwdriver, but
I don't think so either.
yeah, looking around for a crowbar, but there's never a crowbar when you need one. So look at it. Oddly enough, well, I look there and keep an eye out for something like, if I can, as we're doing other things, like find something to pry it off, screw it up, or whatever. I might do that. That might be interesting, but.
Yeah. And so it's between two doors, right? One which goes out into a patio area, and it looks through the shattered window that's there. It looks like there may have been a topiary and maybe a hedge maze. All of this is overgrown and just more suggestive than anything else. The other door, based on the part of the house that you're in and the fact that there's really no ceiling or roof over your heads, it has to go to another ground floor area or descend.
All right, well, let's try this.
Okay. So it is also unlocked, and even if it hadn't been, it has a large kind of like skeleton key lock, which would be child's play to pick. But it is open, and there are stairs on the other side, right? And there's a pretty foul smell of animal occupation and urination and mold from down here, and no light other than what's spilling down the stairs from the now open door. Stairs are quite wide, and they seem to be in better repair than the ones you just ascended to get to the second floor.
Right.
And this doesn't look like an unfinished basement situation. It has been just as lavishly redone as the rest of the house.
All right. Okay. Well, I don't suppose you brought an electric torch, did you, there, Smalls?
I did not.
All right. Well then. Ah, jeez, you gotta be kidding me! I'm looking around for anything I can use as a torch, a stick or something I can light on fire.
There's all kinds of shattered pieces of slats from the walls and whatnot.
All right.
But things to burn is a little more challenging.
Yeah.
Is there a light? I know it sounds crazy because it's been defunct for 20 years, but I wonder if they ever shut off the mains. I'm going to see if there is just for good form's sake, if there is a light switch. If there is indeed one there, I will just depress it just to see, on the off chance. Like, I'll be darned, they never did turn off I don't know who's paying this utility bill, but it's still running. You never know. So I don't
whether or not they shut it off. Yeah. No change happens when the switch is flipped. This room is pretty destroyed, so it's possible that the
That when I hear the click, I'm looking at the small like, really? And I go back to searching for anything that I can burn, trying to make some kind of makeshift torch, Even have to wrap my handkerchief around it or something like that, just to get something to burn.
There's lots of ruined carpet. The amount of material is not the problem. It's the condition of the carpet. Dry enough, not too dry.
Yeah. Right.
How much smoke? How long will it burn? These are questions to which you have no answers.
Right. Exactly. I'm amenable to like taking my handkerchief and wrapping it around a slat and just lighting that with a match and then
All right then.
imagining that this might. So it's gonna be a little smoky there, Smalls, but like we don't have a lot of we don't have a lot of options here.
The house.
Yeah. So as your handkerchief is quickly burning, right? You get it lit. It's now burning, creating a small amount of light and lots of smoke.
Yeah. Well, let's come on before this thing goes out, and like I got my little makeshift torch and start heading down the stairs.
All right.
Thrusting this thing in front of me, trying not to choke on the smoke.
So your eyes are stinging,
right.
And the stairs are stable beneath your feet. Right. The smell is intense. And it's hard to shake the feeling that someone is watching you. Not Smalls, not the driver. These are not significant people. These people aren't the ones watching you. Someone is watching you. And at the bottom of the stairs, there is chaos. The furniture down here was smashed. Like it looks like someone went through with mauls, right? The walls have been bashed through. The floors have been cracked. The carpets have been ripped up, not rolled up and pushed to the side, but ripped up and tossed aside. And the floors have been smashed and the walls have been smashed, like someone is searching for something, right? Something hidden. And there are two such things that are visible in the wreckage of this room. But more helpful in the moment is that there's all kinds of remnants, detritus. There's ruined books down here. There are shattered photographs and pictures down here, like memorabilia. And there are candles and candle holders aplenty.
Yeah. So I'm that's my first order of business is like, looking at this, God, but lighting the candles as fast as I possibly can. So, I won't kill us with this asphyxiating torch any longer.
This basement is much deeper than you might expect from the design of the original house. Right. So the stairway down was longer than you might expect. The ceiling over your head has been refinished, or had been refinished, and has now been, had holes punched in it and smashed and looking for secret places.
Right.
But there is a trap door in the floor that has, the secret lid of which has been smashed, and another flight of stairs there. And there is a secret door at the end of the room, which has been, smashed into visibility, and a chamber beyond.
No, not the first people to have this idea, Smalls. I don't think. Listen, and take one of these candle holders, with a lit candle. Grab as many candles as you can, just in case these start to go out. Don't light them all.
Oh no, that's fine. Start filling my pockets with candles. I actually still have the little valise with the book in it, so I'll open it up and tell the book, excuse me, I'm just going to put these in here with you, and close it right up.
Okay.
Trap door or formerly hidden secret door?
Let's poke in that room over there for a second before we go down more stairs. But let's be quick. I don't want this guy to leave us here. This is not the place I want to spend the night. You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
As you make your way around, there's obvious signs of rat infestation and other things. The secondary room is pretty much like the first and is destroyed in similar fashion to the first, but no other secret areas remain, just the obvious areas. There are other rooms that branch out away from it, all quite small, right? The room, the first room at the base of the initial stairs is almost as big as the house itself, and these secondary rooms just are around it like satellite rooms. So maybe a changing room, judging by the peg hooks on the walls, and some storage closet, and some inner sanctum for some, leader type, and of course a library.
Oh.
Yeah. And here, that the shelves that remain have been destroyed, and there aren't enough of them to fill this room, but judging by the condition of the walls, it looks like the room was once filled with shelves, and there are ripped up pages and ripped up books that have all molded and been chewed all over the floor. And
I'll pick up one of them. Smalls will pick up one of the moldy pieces of book, a moldy text block, just a cursory glance to see what might have been written on. Are we looking at sort of like church missals? Are we looking at just what some sort of Masonic handbook? Any inclination, any clue that a random page might afford as to the nature of this library.
Right. The book you pick up at random is by an English mystic and bad boy named Aleister Crowley. And it's heavily annotated with a lot of vitriol about how misguided, wrong, wrong-headed, stupid, that he is.
All right. I'll just let it flutter to the floor.
What do you think they were looking for, Smalls?
Oh, they were looking for something or someone. They were very animated in the process. I mean, look at this place. And they just didn't toss the place. I mean, they desecrated it. They wanted to. This was done with anger. This was done with passion. Whoever did this, person or persons, there was malice in their hearts when they. I don't think they were just searching. I think they were destroying as well.
Maybe, or they could have just been really upset that they didn't find what they were looking for. All right, let's head down this next set of stairs. Be careful. I'll go first. I don't want you to break anything and break yourself.
No, that would be bad. I appreciate your going first, Terrence.
Yeah. Listen, who's going to buy me dinner later?
Dinner, that's a welcome thought.
Now, this next set of stairs is just bare wood. Still seems stable. There's no back to the staircase. It's it's like a ladder on an angle, really.
Right.
And it's quite shallow. It's very steep.
Yeah, kind of bouncing on each step, and just make sure that I believe that Smalls is going to be okay on it. So, be a little careful on it. It's a little steep.
Right. Thank you.
And the smell adds this wet earth, mossy note. And the wall is bare stone, and it's damp and mossy as well.
And how old is it looking? I mean, is this looking like something that's been here for like 100 years, or? I can't imagine. Yeah.
At the bottom, there's not much space. There is, of note, though, manacles, sets of manacles around the walls of the room. whatever this room may have been designed to be, it had been converted into a prison for
Holy smokes.
10 people.
I don't remember this ever reaching the newspapers.
The manacles
No, not this
themselves,
much.
the manacles themselves, some of them, other than rust, don't show any sign of wear and tear, but one set, the chains have been broken and no manacles remain, and there are shattered manacles on the ground, on the floor, the stone floor.
I'm just going to pick them up, look at them kind of quizzically as I'm kind of like walking around, kind of touching some of the manacles. I was like, "Jeez, gotta be kidding me!" Man, I really wish Cal was here. These would be great pictures. Yeah, who's going to believe this crap?
Indeed.
I don't know if we found any answers here, Smalls, but just more questions.
Indeed. Do you think when the cabbie mentioned something about tunnels, do you think tunnels leading out to something? Did you see anything like that? Unless he was misinformed. Which is
Yeah,
possible.
yeah,
But
I
he was
think
right
so.
about all of this. Look at these manacles. Excuse me. He's right. He was right about all of this.
Yeah, this is freaky, all right.
The stones that make up the walls are different sizes, like field stones, when this place used to be a farm. And so the idea of a secret door out of here doesn't seem physically possible, with the arrangement of large rocks and small rocks and whatnot cemented together. And if there are other secret entrances in the other basement rooms, that also seems highly unlikely that they were not found due to the heavy amount of destructive searching that is evident up there.
I don't know, Smalls. I think we got what they were looking for, or, well, I think Gavigan might have what they're looking for. I'm still not convinced that's the real book.
What's the floor? Is it an earthen floor down here?
It's stone flaggings, like slate, not uniform, no effort to make it uniform. It's kind of sunken in the middle where there is a drain. And through the scum that has built up on the floor in the damp, it seems like there's some kind of sigil or mark etched into the stonework, but right now it's obscured by growth.
Well, I'm gonna take my burned, blackened remnant of a handkerchief and try to just scrape off some of this life clinging to the muck off of the sigil to see if I can get a better look at it.
It takes some time, right? But you can clear it away. Some of it is kind of drier and thicker than others, and there's things crawling in it. And maybe some of them are observing you with the eyes that are watching.
Crushing a couple of them. when I get that idea from this, it may be too much force.
And the sigil is familiar, but not familiar. But it's Egyptian in origin, as popularized by the Egyptian mania, which has been running through the media.
Right.
But it's basically a stylized eye with curly cues coming off it and it's not painted or colored in any way. It's etched into the stone.
So I'm going to take out my notebook and try to copy it as best I can, basic idea of what it looks like. So I recall, maybe you can have somebody look at this that knows more than I do.
Smalls has a fair amount of historical knowledge. Would this Egyptian seeming eye, could he delve into his own personal knowledge of history to make sense of it?
It's obvious enough to you that the eye is different from the ones that have been popularly shared.
Okay.
So it's in the style of, or in the design of, but some of the details are obviously different, but the meaning of how or why they are different eludes him at this moment.
Right. So it's like,
but it's not the Eye of Ra. That kind
right. Eye of Ra, Eye of Horus, like those. But it's been kind of like stylized to almost be corrupted or altered. Yeah. Okay. All right. On a lark, I'm gonna tap it with my foot. Like, does it sound like there's a hollowness underneath it? Maybe wondering. It's a flagstone floor, and they've got one of the flagstones marked with this Egyptian eye, corrupted version. I'm just gonna kind of tap it give it a little stamp with my foot, and see if it feels off somehow.
It seems pretty secure.
Mm. Well, it is a small room, so I will go to the other paving stones in the room, and I'll just give each one just a stamp. I'm not going to exhaust myself, but enough to see if any of the stones seems different than any of the others. The vibration
seems to be a well-made room, whatever its original purpose was.
Okay.
Maybe it was, for hiding people, so during some period of persecution, or
right,
or maybe not. Maybe it's not an old room at all.
Oh, we're still getting that creepy feeling. The walls have eyes.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here, Smalls. I don't think there's anything else we can see. I think whatever there was here to see is gone, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, somebody was here before us, and has not left us much to discover.
No, I don't think so. I think they were looking for this damn book, but I think somebody had already taken it. Maybe Gavigan, maybe Albert, maybe Edward. Who knows?
Maybe they were looking to rescue whatever poor wretch who had been imprisoned down here.
I doubt it. Maybe.
Well,
Well, there was a police raid, right? In
right.
the notes that were uncovered, the police were called. They raided, you know, they recovered a kidnap victim, but all the details were kept out of the paper.
Right. Right.
So on your way out, you're passing through the larger room, and as I said, there are, you know, ruined things of memorabilia, things like lists of members, and you can see names like Gavigan on it, and there. Each tier of membership has some kind of sigil next to it. Like you can see Edward Call's name, and you can see the sigil from the ring in that tier of members.
Right.
And you know, it's moldy and wet and torn. Like it was just ripped out of the glass frame, you know, picture frame that it had been in, right? That had been smashed, and they just torn it aside, and, you know, looking for something hidden behind it, whatever.
I take that just for the hell of it. Yeah.
There are photographs of members at various functions in their occult accoutrement, you know.
it might be valuable because we don't know if there are other members that escaped that night or were later released by the police that might still have secrets. Might be good to know who's on that list.
Yeah, and besides this Stanford fellow that they found too, or they managed to talk to, that'd be. Was he the one that got away?
He was the one that got away. That Stanford guy. They said they collared Dr. Edward Call.
Yeah.
That Stanford, somebody named Stanford got out before he could be apprehended. But this list might be helpful, where we seem to be running into all manner of people connected with this sinister affair. We notice anybody that's on this list that might give us an insight. Might be good to hang on to that.
There's a ruined photograph that you can see ahead of you, and, you know, in the flickering in the candlelight, and it kind of leaps out because you, in this occult paraphernalia, right, you can see a younger, or maybe less strained Edward Call, Dr. Call, the consultant. And he's wearing some kind of foreign hat. Emblazoned on the front is the sigil from his ring. And next to him, not in a friendly way, but next to him, with a very grim face, right, is a fellow wearing the same hat with a different sigil emblazoned on it, and it is the eye from the floor.
Get the hell out. I'm taking that photograph. That might be. And I'm looking at it. Is this guy somebody I recognize? Is anybody sleeping out at me, or?
Not particularly.
Okay, well.
But in that background of the photo, you can see the profile of Edward Gavigan talking to someone. Could be his brother, could be someone else. It's hard to tell. These photographs are in very bad condition.
Right. They're not going to do too much good, but they're better than nothing. There's something to grab onto.
I think we've uncovered everything we can at this place.
What was that? Broke up for a second.
What? Did you hear someone?
What was that, Smalls?
I I said, did you hear someone?
No,
This
no, no.
this place has told us everything it can.
Yeah. No, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Will you go out the way that you came in?
You know, we didn't go out, just look at the little topiary area. I mean, is that going to get me? Like, I can go through there and go around the house to look like. Yeah, I go out that way.
Give it a thorough search while we're here. Can't hurt.
So out in the back, years of disuse have caused all the paths to overgrow, but the remains of what must have been a very lovely place, little reflecting pools and sun clocks and telescopes on permanent mountings scattered all about the yard. And why these weren't removed is anybody's guess. It could have something to do with the occult symbols or occult seeming symbols that are etched into them, I suppose. The barn, as we discussed, had largely collapsed.
Right.
And it had been redone to be a garage, and there's a fuel pump, the remnants of a fuel pump and this sort of stuff scattered about. Its floor, once cement, also has been smashed in a desperate search for hidden doors or the like. But there are trails that go off into the woods behind. And on the trees, there's the remnants of signs, different paths. The names don't make a lot of sense. Like the path of Copernicus, the path of Alhazred.
Just for giggles, I'm going to Smalls is going to look through one of the brass telescopes, see if it still works. Maybe just to see what he can see. Yeah.
It's still day.
Mm.
So gazing at the stars is out of the question.
But maybe he'll just kind of swivel it around. Maybe he'll gaze at the pathways, the signs going off to the different pathways. If he can, he'll swivel it around, take a look at the house. I mean, just sort of. He'll even take a look at his buddy Terrence through it. See what color buttons are on his vest. Whatever.
So the eyepiece needs to be cleaned, and the lens needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
And it squeaks,
Yeah.
horrifying, grinding, metallic noise as you bring it about. And as you sweep it across the different entrances to the pathways through the woods, there's a definite sign down one of the pathways that there is some wooden structure through the woods. You can't make it out because you can't see through the tree trunks and trees, right. But there's definitely the indication that there's another building somewhere in the woods. And swinging it around playfully, I guess, to look at Terrence for a moment. Shows him with a tattooed face and a hungry look.
I jerk back, look at him, peer at him over the telescope,
It's just
and then
Terrence,
yeah,
agitated.
and I'll look down through the eyepiece again, kind of do a couple of times.
You all right, Smalls?
What you saw was either there or not there. But the tension in Terrence, the twitchiness, the jumpiness, the moving eyes, hyper alertness.
Well, for a minute, I thought I saw something terrible, but I think it was just my imagination playing tricks. Give him a heartening look. But there is a wooden structure deeper into the woods, my friend. That path over there.
Okay, well, let's check it out then.
Yes.
Let's be quick about it. I don't want to be here too long.
Oh, indeed. We don't want to lose our ride home.
No, we don't want that.
All right. So I guess we'll hoof it a little bit.
So, taking the left-hand path, right, which curves, right, and it very quickly you lose sight of the other paths, right? Very quickly you lose sight, not completely, but in a more or less complete sense, of the house behind you, right? It gets darker. And these paths are in better condition, maybe designed to be mostly natural. And there you start to see the cipher again from the notebook. There are little plaques in the trees, right? As you follow the path, then you'll come across a plaque in the tree with a cipher. And sometimes there's a bench there, or there's a reflecting pool, or something like that. So, suggesting this array of intricate pathways is connected somehow to the esoteric teachings of the Hermetic Order of the Silver Twilight. And as you go through the pathway, whatever hint you had through the telescope that there was a building here is lost, right? The tree trunks are arranged to block sight, right? Almost if the whole forest were carefully planted to create this sense of isolation. Just the path, following the path. Sunlight doesn't really filter down under the trees, but there's a sense of illumination. And then suddenly, around a quick turn, you come out into a clearing, and there is a low cottage, maybe once a servant's quarters or an outbuilding for plows or who knows what, in the middle of a small field.
So in this small field, or did you say there is a small outbuilding?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we've come this far, my friend. And just trudge towards the outbuilding.
All right, now the grass is, or the wheat or whatever it is very high.
Okay. Well, Smalls is going to be like a rhinoceros. He's just going to he's got like it, target acquired, and yeah, he's just going to be like a just ungracious bump, 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 and
Now you're getting really tired. Your collar is feeling really tight, and your legs are leaden. It's a lot of activity for Smalls. You're making your way through, and and the ground is uneven,
Hmm.
hard
Yeah.
in places, frozen in places, it crumbles in places. You get there, and once again you find the locks have been smashed,
Oh.
and inside here is a well, a stone well, and there it's circular, right in the center of this outbuilding. And there's hooks in the walls, and there are pegs in the walls and things for tools or whatnot. And there are two stone benches on opposite sides of the well, and they're curved in the same way as the
Is the well
shape of
covered?
the well. The well is covered, with a wooden cover, which again is moldy and a little warped.
Smalls is going to remove the cover. He's just going to, it's not too much physical effort. He's going to try to slide the cover over.
You ain't thinking of going down there, are you, fella?
Well, I'm wondering if we may have found an entrance to the rumored tunnels.
Maybe an entrance. I don't know about an exit. Okay. I'll give him a hand pushing the lid off if he needs it.
Right. We'll know whether it's full of water or if it's empty, possibly.
You slide the cover off, right? The other end slams down on the floor, and because it is very heavy, and the sunlight streaming in the open doorway is enough to fully illuminate the area, and all the bottom of the well is still in shadow. There is no reflection of water.
Anything like iron rungs set into the
There are
interior.
exactly iron rungs set into the side of the well.
All right. I give a sweaty, triumphal look at Terrence.
Who the hell's going down there?
Well, I hadn't thought that far yet.
Give me a damn candle. God.
We could come back tomorrow with flashlights.
This guy ain't taking us back tomorrow. We're lucky we got us here today. Let's do this quick.
As you wish. You go first.
I'm lighting the candle and starting to carefully make my way down, kind of judging, can Smalls even make this descent or not as I'm doing it,
Yeah.
What's the crap I do for a story?
I would like you to roll percentile dice.
That is 40.
Okay. Midway down, you slip. Impacting with the damp earth.
Oh.
Face to face on your side with the grinning, withered skull still mostly attached to the graying skeleton that carried it there.
Oh. Just trying to gingerly feel like how hurt I am, if at all.
You're going to have bruises for several days. Nothing feels broken.
Oh, God. I don't know if this is I'm like when I groping for my candle, looking at my new friend. I don't know if this is the best thing for you to be doing here, Smalls.
How far down is he?
He's really far down, 50, 60 feet.
Oh, jeez. The last guy that went down here's not looking so good.
Now,
What else do you see?
Hold on. Well, what can I like? Can I stand up here? Does it looks like Can I stand up upright or?
yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
there's, your head is pounding, and
yeah,
your side. Opposite the rungs is the pelvis of the skeleton, and the torso and the head and shoulders and whatnot have slumped to the side, so the hands are together. Right. In one skeletal hand, bare traces of tendon and flesh remaining, there is a knife.
Okay.
And in the other hand, there's the two broken pieces of a black stone carving or little statuette.
Kind of try to pry those out and just take a look at them for a second. See enough creepy symbols and all that kind of stuff. I might as well.
Right. This little statuette is some kind of stylized monster, demon, something like, lots of teeth and big eyes, and but it's been cleanly broken along, some structural fault in the stone itself.
I'm gonna toss those in my jacket pocket, inside pocket of my now ruined jacket. And look around. Does it look like? Is there a room of any kind down here, or am I just at the bottom of the well and that's it, or
You're just the bottom of the well, but there is there's a grate of some kind here, a metal grate.
It covers something like further down in the floor.
It's in the
wall,
the bottom wall against the floor.
Okay, let's see if I can see through it. If there's anything.
It's solid, but you can move it.
Yeah, there's some kind of grate down here. I'm gonna move that and see what else I can see down here. Smalls. I wouldn't come down here. I don't know if you'd make it down. If you made it down, I don't think you'd make it back up. No offense.
I'll stay up here.
So with effort, you slide it across.
Yeah.
And water comes flooding in.
Holy Jesus. All right. Well, now, I'm coming up, Smalls. Coming up. I'm furiously trying to get back up the rungs, at this point.
I would like you to roll percentile dice again.
That is an 87.
So as we close the curtain on tonight's session, Alfred Smalls, in horror at the top of the well, is looking down at Terrence, who's struggling at the bottom of the well with a broken rung in his hand as the water swirls around his legs.
Terrence, do you know how to swim?
Dropping the candle into the water, pitching myself into complete darkness. That's great.
Okay. So I don't know if it was obvious, but Terrence is sliding toward kind of a paranoid condition.
Yeah.
He's learned these terrible dark secrets about what may have been done to him in the book. He knows about these Eddie's report of invisible death,
Right.
and the letter from X, right? You are mine. So
I know they're watching me. They're watching me all the time. that was great. And boy, I tell you what, Smalls, thanks so much.
Don't worry, Terrence. All will be well.
You have my deepest sympathies.
Yeah. With a broken rung in my hand. Oh God. It's really ready to go back. I was ready to go back, Smalls. I was ready to go back.
Yeah. But look,
Son of a bitch.
you've made some wonderful discoveries.
That's fantastic.
All right.
Small sacrifice for
Okay. Well, gents, I got to let you go.
Okay, right.
That was a blast. That was a blast.
Thanks
Anthony,
for playing.
Ivan, thank you both for a great night.
Ditto. Thanks for paying the cabbie to get us there. I was really starting to think that we wouldn't be able to make it there. Thank goodness we made it.
Yes, yep.
All right, can we use that crowbar now?
Ride, but I hope we get a ride back. We can hope for a ride back. Otherwise, yeah.
Some of that's not the first of my concerns. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
take care, guys.
Have a good night, gentlemen.